Ed Welch is on the line right now. And Ed, I know you're the same way I am about this. You really honor the flag. It's something that we should be very careful about. Memorial Day weekend is a very special weekend as well. The treatment, the way you dispose of a flag, the way you fly it, having a light on it, all of those things are important to so many people. And, of course, this weekend...
Yes, we are, and we need to make sure we keep these traditions alive.
I agree.
As organizations, all of the veterans organizations, and organizations like the Elks who invented Flag Day, they perpetuate the proper way to take care of the flag.
Yep.
And I think we need to continually remind people and continually show them the right thing to do, because, as you know, things evolve over time. And just like many holidays were once religious holidays, they're now basically celebration holidays.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with things evolving, but our flag is a sacred item, and it should always be treated that way.
Well, and Memorial Day, if you look back at the history, used to be a holiday called Decoration Day, which came after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. It goes back to, and what really Memorial Day is about is honoring those who have passed, who have given military service. But originally, it was those who died in the Civil War. We lost like 600,000 people during the Civil War. It was just an incredible...
That's right. It was the bloodiest war in our history. And again, we shouldn't forget the lessons from it, especially as we get in today's world with all the discourse that's going on in society. We got to remind ourselves that we don't ever want to elevate our discourse to a level where we go back to having a severe problem with each other. It's not the way the country works.
Michael says, I don't think things are evolving. I really think things are devolving. And that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. Also, Decoration Day, which continues here with Memorial Day. It is the decoration of the grave sites and the headstones of people who have military service and have passed. So think about that this weekend while you're barbecuing and all of that. Just to at least take a moment to and the parades and all of that happen on Monday. So, all right, Ed Welch, it is a traditional kickoff of the summer.
It is.
And travel and gas prices, what do we know?
Well, first of all, AAA is projecting that we got 39.3 million of us going 50 miles or more. And this is the third year in a row where we've had growth in Memorial Day travel, about a 2.7% increase over last year. And about 88.1% of us are going to be driving. So that's an increase over last year. Air travel's up. All forms of travel is up. And what's interesting is we're going to be paying the highest gasoline price since 2015. And what's even more interesting is airfares, car rental rates, and mid-range hotels are all trending higher for their rates as well. So I guess the point is we're all willing to pay more to travel, and more of us are going to travel.
Yeah. And what is happening with gas prices? They have been falling. Is that trend going to continue?
I believe it will. Not in a severe manner.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, Bill, and I'm gonna give everybody a little geography lesson this morning, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. How's that?
Okay, good, beautiful.
Do you know where the Permian Basin is?
That I don't know.
Well, and most people don't, so you're not alone. The Permian Basin is in West Texas and eastern New Mexico, and it has the second largest oil field on the planet Earth. And basically, according to Rystad Energy, the United States now has more oil reserves than Saudi Arabia.
Wow. Yeah, this is the big
so what
change.
That means for us is that when we're negotiating with our friends in the Middle East, they raise the prices and try to hold us up. We pump out more oil. They lower the prices to try to take market share back, and we just kind of enjoy the low prices and pull our production back without hurting anything.
Yeah.
In other words, the old methods of how we were abused by the Middle East is certainly leaving us.
Does that really have to? I mean, we should be smart with this, right? And then and continue to look at alternatives. Because
we are, and there's another thing I'm going to share with you this morning that you're going to start hearing more about, and it's called peak oil. And there's now projections that the planet is about to go the other way as far as how much oil it uses. We've been on an increase of every year using more and more oil on planet Earth since oil was invented. Now they're predicting peak oil. And it goes back to your point, Bill, that we're all beginning to use different types of energy.
Yeah.
We're smartening up how we do things. Certainly our cars and trucks are far more efficient than they were 15, 20 years ago.
And I think
even though we're driving more miles, we're starting to use less oil.
Yep.
And that's what's starting to happen. So I think in the next 10 years, oil is going to become it's always going to be important. It's not going to be going away anytime soon. Yeah. But I think all of this political and geopolitical turmoil that happens over oil is going to go away.
And they're talking about, by the way, the efficiency of cars. I think it cannot be underestimated and understated, I guess, at this point, because all of these cars now today have the green mode, if you will. It's giving you the miles per gallon. It's amazing how these newer vehicles are so efficient.
Well, even more amazing is what the consumer's beginning to want, Bill.
Right.
I just read a recent study where, again, in people's minds, not exactly yet, on the showroom floor.
Yeah.
But the desire, in other words, psychological desire to own an electric vehicle is now approaching the psychological desire to own a pickup truck. And, of course, the biggest selling vehicles in this country right now are pickup trucks.
Right.
Always and have been the Ford F-150 has been the largest selling vehicle for the last 40 years. So, again, society is starting to change how it looks at things. And, if you think you want something, eventually you're going to get it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's beginning to happen. And many car manufacturers know this. So you're going to be seeing a lot more electric cars, more hybrid technology, as we begin the transition over the next 10 years.
Well, as you watch the prices come down and they become less, I mean, in the beginning it was, you had to find a place where you could actually charge it, and now it is becoming more prevalent, and I think...
Yeah, and Bill, how you can take your phone and just set it on a charger without having to plug it in and charge it itself?
Yeah.
That's coming to cars.
This is...
You're going to have a mat in your garage pretty soon. You can drive over the car. It's going to basically charge your car while you're sleeping, without having to plug it in. That's what's coming down the road in not too distant future.
Pretty big. And one thing I want to add is over this weekend, big push across the state on DWIs. They're going to be out there, and they're warning everybody that there is going to be an increase in police checks and that sort of thing across the state.
And for texting.
And for texting, yep. So.
And I was reading an article about some of the, I remember when we started talking about texting and driving a few years back, and many people were skeptical that law enforcement would find ways to catch you. And I've always believed that once we pass a law, the law enforcement will find a way to enforce the law because that's their job.
Yeah.
And I was reading some of the ingenious ways that some law enforcement agencies have been using to, let's just say, catch people. They've actually had people dressed up as construction workers, wearing vests, like standing by a construction sign when there's a chase car ahead. There's all kinds of stuff that they're doing, basically, to watch what's going on. I realize some people don't like the idea of the government using furtive measures to monitor our comings and goings, but the truth of the matter is that you're not supposed to be texting and driving. Yeah,
it's dangerous. They've compared it to DWI, as a matter of fact, and
exactly. And I gave a talk to some seniors not too long ago, and they didn't understand texting and driving. And I basically said to them, if you took the morning paper and put it over the steering wheel and tried to read it while you're driving down the street, would you do that?
Right.
And of course, they thought that was absolutely insane. And I said, well, that's what texting and driving pretty much is.
Although I must say, I've seen people on the thruway doing that. Ed Welch is on every Saturday morning on WIBX with Auto Talk, and he is the man in the know when it comes to gas prices and travel and holiday weekends, especially where travel is high. Ed, as always, we appreciate your time coming on the air.
Bill, I really appreciate you having me on, and wish everybody a safe and happy Memorial Day. Remember the reason why Memorial Day exists, and I look forward to talking to everybody on Saturday morning.
Thanks so much.
Ed.